It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here. Welcome to Mind Your Business.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I am your host, Jamillah Lodge. And of course, you are Kelsea Williams. Yes. You're the Communication and Development Officer. We get to work together all the time.
Yes, we do.
And I don't think that we've ever done this. Have I ever interviewed
maybe
you?
Once.
When you first started, maybe.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
all right.
A long time ago.
Well, welcome back. And so we're going to start talking about the Enterprise Bermuda Incubator program. But before we do that, let's remind people like what you do here at BEDC.
So Kelsea Williams, I am the Communication Development Officer, as you know. I basically help you. Our team is like super small, but we do the communications and the event programming, as well as any like public facing communications and marketing, PR that has for BEDC. And then we also focus on the development of the programs like the Enterprise Bermuda Incubator that we're going to talk about today.
Okay. What's your favorite part?
Favorite part of the role overall?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think just the diverse set of things that I get to do, interacting with all different types of people, getting to see all the businesses grow from start to finish, especially in programs like the incubator as well.
Okay. So this year, I would say that you've been a little bit more involved in the development of this year's program.
Yeah.
So can you talk to me a little bit about what's different in comparison to other programs that we've offered?
Yeah, so we've been doing the incubator program for a little while now, and so we've gotten different feedback and then also have gotten to see how businesses thrive throughout the types of programs that we've offered. So taking that feedback and then also taking into consideration just like what the team has going on, we've decided to make a few changes to the program. The biggest change is that it's a 6-month program now instead of 12 months. So it used to be for the entire year, but we've taken on the feedback that people want something a little bit more focused, shorter time span and everything like that. So we're going to try 6 months this year and really make it super intentional, super purposeful. So like when people come and join the program and when we're doing the workshops and the sessions for it, you'll leave with practical things that you can apply to your business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of when you say practical things, what kinds of things are you?
So we're going to be doing things like pitching, your business model canvas, all those sorts of things. So like practical as in like you're going to graduate this program knowing how to pitch your business in 5 minutes or less. Or you're going to graduate this program with a fully developed business plan with tools that will help you in your business, practical tools that you can use in your everyday, like working on your business as well.
So what was the difference between what you did last year versus this year? Because you said it was 12 months. So can you talk to me about how it's going to be different?
So last year we partnered with a group called Accelerate Canada, Accelerate Center out of Canada, sorry. And so for the first 6 months of the program, they really worked virtually with the mentors and the platform that was provided by the Accelerate Center. And then after that, it was more of we sort of tried to get the group dynamic going, and we had check-ins and different chat and choose with entrepreneurs and things like that. So essentially, you're going to get all of that still, but we've condensed it into a shorter amount of time. So it's less theory and more working on your business.
Okay.
Because I think what we find is we spend a lot of time giving you all the resources, all of the information and stuff that you need, which is great, but we really want to see people taking that information, turning it into actual things that help their business in the moment now. So when people graduate from the program, we want them to be running their businesses and fully ready, confident, and just equipped in order to have businesses that are running and functional in Bermuda.
So explain to me about who you're targeting, right? Because I hear you talking about like business planning and things like that. So are you looking for people who have not yet started a business, or what type of entrepreneur?
So it's an incubator program, so it's a bit of both. We are looking to take anybody from idea stage. So if you just have an idea, you haven't validated it yet, and you really just want to get started, the program's for you. But then it's also for people that have been in business for less than 3 years, and really just need help kicking their butt into gear and just getting to the next level. So it's not a growth program, so it's not a program for those that are running their business and are looking to get to the next level and grow. It's really for small businesses, idea stage, early stage, that are trying to just really figure out, hey, how do I do this? And how do I do this in a way that is proper, legitimate, and then also that's efficient.
Okay. So in terms of what people should expect when they're coming in. Oh, well, let's talk about the application process. Like, what should people be prepared to supply to be considered?
Yeah, so the application is really simple. I know a lot of people get really intimidated by applications, but I would encourage people not to be, because what we really want to look at is just, who are you, what are your goals, and what business do you want to create, or what business have you created and how can we help you, right? I think BEDC's main role is to help small businesses. So that's what we're looking for in the application. And it's your business, so like you know it better than anybody else is going to know it. So as long as you provide as much information as possible just to help us see your vision a little bit, I think that is the most important part of the application. So yeah, we do ask that you provide certain details that lean towards like a business plan, that sort of thing, but that's just to give us insight into the fact that you are thinking like an entrepreneur and that you're ready and willing to learn, and we can do something, right? And we can work with you, so that at the end of the program, we're actually helping you create the business, instead of wasting your time. Like we need to get businesses up and running. But yeah, I think the application's easy. It's online. You can do it from your bed if you want to. Yeah, at bedc.bm though on our website.
Okay. And so an example of a question so people can get a sense, because you're saying it's easy, but they're probably like,
it's easy.
Okay, so what are you going to ask? What do you need to know? Give me an example.
So examples, your name, your business name, a description of your business, how you plan on making money in your business, what are your revenue streams, if you don't have revenue streams yet, what would they potentially be, that sort of thing, just general business questions. We also want to know what you want to get out of the program, like what milestones you want to hit, and at the end of the program, what do you hope for? So if we can see that you have given that some thought, then that's all that we ask.
Okay. So how many people are you taking in this cohort?
That's another thing that's different this year. So we're taking less people because it's more focused, short amount of time, and we just want to maximize our resources, but with a smaller group this time. So it's 10 people.
Okay.
10 people only.
So to me, that means the application process will be competitive, because on average, how many applications do you get?
I think we got like 60 last year.
Okay.
So around there. So if it's 60 to 10, it's going to be a little bit hard. That's why I said provide as much information as possible. We just need to know where you're at, what your business is. But yeah, you do have to keep in mind that it is competitive. There are a lot of people vying to be in the program. So put your best foot forward.
So like you said, we've been doing this since 2018, I think. And every year, I think we iterate and we change and we do something. And it's primarily based on the feedback that we get, right? Yeah. So we want to be in a position to respond to the needs of the entrepreneur. And so I think that we're doing that this year with how we are adjusting the programming. But can you talk a little bit more about what they actually get from being in Enterprise Bermuda?
Yeah, absolutely. So major thing is you get access to all of BDC's resources, supports, programs, courses, events, all of that for free.
Okay.
Yeah, which is great.
That's thousands of dollars.
It's huge.
Education and
huge. But even just like access to the team as well. I think we have a really great team that has a lot of connections. So just really being able to interact with us in the way that you do during the program, I think is a huge resource. But you also, so the program will sort of look like you'll get check-ins with a BDC staff member, as well as mentorship, which is a huge part of the program. So you'll have access to international mentors as well as local mentors. I think that's something that past participants have said was of huge value. So you get to bounce your ideas off of people that have been in the industry for a really long time, and you get matched with people that have the appropriate knowledge in order to help you get to the next level. Outside of mentorship, you get access to BDC's many offices, so you get free office space as well. There's potentially an international trip experience that comes along with the program too, so that's exciting as well. And there's so many other things. There's so much. I could go on. There's a lot. I think the last thing I'll say, though, is that you really get to just have a group of people that are like-minded, all trying to do the same thing. And I think that's probably the most valuable thing that people don't realize. Just being able to talk through a challenge or through your successes to share with the group. I think that's some of the most valuable times that you get out of like the incubator program.
Okay. Well, it sounds like that the changes have been very thoughtful and are taking into consideration what others who've gone through the programming have said. One of the things that I'll just highlight is like you said, last year, the 6 months was with Accelerator Center out of Canada, which was virtual. Yeah. And so I know that some of the feedback we received was there was a difference because it was virtual, so you couldn't really be in front of that person. Yeah. And so this time around, can you talk about the 6 months that we'll be doing, or the curriculum that's going to be happening over the 6 months, and how it's more in person, right?
Yes, absolutely. So there's so many benefits to virtual and all of the things that have come with that. However, I think a huge part of the feedback has been that people want to see people now. They want to interact in person. So we've taken that on board. And so the 6 months will be fully virtual. I mean, fully in person.
I'm like, now, wait a minute.
Sorry. Fully in person with a few virtual aspects for just like check-ins and things like that. But in person as much as possible so that you really get that face-to-face interaction, that practical workshopping in person. Just really, I think it helps create a better understanding, but also a better like bond between the incubatees too. Yeah,
I would agree. I could definitely say when you talk to cohorts that have had the opportunity to do that initial onboarding and course work in person, they still sort of have that connection.
Like team building, years later, creates a different level of team building.
So that's what we're going for this time around. So now we've had, like I said, 2018, so I don't know, upwards of 50, 60, 70, hundreds of businesses that have gone through these programs. So can you talk about any success stories or one that may stick out for you?
Oh, there's so many. They're so great in their own right. Let's see who comes to mind. Gavin's Butter comes to mind. So he, I think, was a couple years ago. But it was really, really great to see him start basically from scratch. Yeah. And then turn into what he is now. Like his butters all across the island in many, many stores. We've seen him go on to win pitch competitions. He won $25,000 doing that, and has put that into like getting great equipment for his business and really just leveling up. So it's really, really nice to see that. But we've seen like other businesses go through, like Drop It, Inzuri Beauty, Vita Fusions, On-Site Optometry. There's been so many.
And she was just in the paper.
Yes,
Tia Smith, she was in the paper. And so, you know, secretly, you know, for me, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't take complete credit for her success, but just being able to say you were a part of it, right. I think is really nice.
It's really, really great.
Yeah. So I mean, we're hopeful. For me, I feel like this is our part. This is one of the ways in which we give back, right?
Yeah.
Because there is a cost associated with doing these programs. Like you said, they get access to office space, internet, printing supplies, you know, use of telephony. These are all expenses that if you didn't have, you would have to take on yourself. And then in addition to that international experience. So can you talk about what happened last year and why you think it's important to include that into the programming for Enterprise Bermuda?
So last year we had the opportunity, we partnered with Fast Company and Inc. for the Innovation Festival that they put on in New York City. So we took a group of the incubatees up to the Innovation Festival, and it was basically a week-long event of just exposure to different panelists, keynotes, workshops, all about entrepreneurship, innovating, becoming more efficient, getting your business where it needs to be. But most importantly, I think what was super beneficial was just the networking that you get to experience there. You're in rooms with people that have been doing this for years, have unicorn businesses, are making millions of dollars, but then you're also in the room with people that have just started, right? So you have that wide range, but you're able to speak and experience and see how they did it, what challenges they had, which could be challenges that you are having as well. It helps you avoid mistakes. It helps you, I guess, have a different perspective, especially coming from an island like Bermuda where we tend to be very insular and just think like, oh, let me just sell my candles here.
Right.
When you could be selling your candles on Etsy. You could be selling your candles anywhere in the world, right? Like we live in a global economy now. So I guess the role of that is to really help the entrepreneurs gain that confidence and gain those networking skills to be able to step outside of Bermuda and step outside themselves, which is hard to do when you're just here and this is the only thing you're exposed to, right?
Yep. I would agree. Yeah. I mean, every time we take entrepreneurs off island and I think they get to see how people do it in other places, it's inspiring, and you can see like their aha moments going off and their eyes like opening. I know last year when we took the group, there was one person who hadn't traveled for like 10 years or so, right? So just to be able to create that experience. And then also several of the entrepreneurs made connections that helped their businesses. So they had an opportunity to meet someone to help them build out their business further. And so it's those sorts of things which I think are extremely important for new entrepreneurs or people just starting out, because you may not necessarily get that in Bermuda, like you said, because it's so insular. So being able to just see things differently, you know?
Like the connections are really great as well. But then also I think it's important because I guess doing business globally just seems like such a daunting task. But then when you go out there and you see that these are just people too, they're just doing the exact same thing that you're doing. So I think it helps them realize like, oh, like I can actually do this as well. So even if they just leave with that, like outside of the connections, outside of all of the other things that outside the great learning, I think that is really valuable too. Just realizing that like, hey, like I might be a little candle store in Bermuda, but like I can do it.
Yeah. And what you're doing is unique to how you do it, right? Because I think some people, I know a lot of people are still, especially in Bermuda, encumbered by the idea that if I tell people, they're going to take my idea and steal it and all that. And I think when you go into a place where there's millions of people doing the same thing that you're doing, it helps you to understand that, there is room for me. There's space. Like, it's okay if I'm doing something that someone else is doing, because they're not going to do it like me, because there's only one unique you, right?
Exactly.
So that is the message, I think, that you could say it here, but it's only when you get to go off and you see, you're like, these 10 people are doing the same thing.
Yep.
But
everyone's successful in it, right?
In it, right?
And I think there's also room and something that we try and put into the program as well is collaboration over competition. Just the value in that, because like you said, everybody can be making candles, but it's how you make it, it's how you sell it, it's who you are.
Right.
That's different.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Y'all heard that? No. So in terms of the program shortening, right?
Yeah.
So on day one, they're coming in, maybe have a new idea, maybe just started business or whatever. What would you like to see on graduation day?
I would like to see 10 operational businesses going full steam ahead to the future. So whether they've just have an idea through the program, I want them to create milestones, validate their business idea, work on those milestones, and then graduation day, they're already open, they've already made their sales, or they've already had their first customer, they're running their services, and maybe they even have employees. Like the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what I would love to see is just the development, personal development throughout the program as well, just that confidence that you need to be a fully functioning entrepreneur, because you really need it. It takes a lot.
And she's speaking from experience.
Yeah, you need that to rely on when things get hard. But yeah, just really being confident in yourself, in your business, in what you're doing, and then having a plan to work forward as well. If everybody graduates doing that, then I'm happy.
So I do want to talk about some things. So typically when we hold these types of programs, we get tons of applicants. People are like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm ready. And then the programming starts, and then the work starts. Yeah. And then reality can hit, right? And so there is such thing as natural attrition, where we just lose people, Yeah. So what are you going to do, or what can participants expect from us to keep them sort of motivated and keep, them interested in continuing to go through the process?
Yeah. So that's a thing. Entrepreneurship is not easy.
No.
By yourself, it's not easy too. But I think in the incubator program, it makes it slightly more easier because you have a community with you. Okay. And I think what BEDC provides is that community. What the program provides is that community. But then as well, from the BEDC perspective, we will be doing our best to outline all of our expectations from the very beginning. So you'll get a full schedule of what the program entails, when we're going to be meeting, what is expected of you. And I want everybody to just be honest. So like once you get that and you see it and you're just like, hey, like I can't commit to this, that's fine. You just have to let us know, but also be realistic with yourself as what you can do, because it does take a certain level of commitment, and we do want to see businesses graduate the program, as many as possible. So yeah, I just think as long as everybody is honest with their capacity levels, and even if you find the first couple of weeks you're like, oh, okay, I thought I could do this, but I can't, like, that's fine. Just let us know.
No, it's not.
I mean, we're still here to help. We want you to graduate. We want you to do the program. But, like, also we do have to be realistic in Bermuda, because, like, a lot of entrepreneurs also have full-time jobs.
Yes.
So, like, BEDC is well aware of that. And so we try to tailor the programming in order to suit everybody's needs and scheduling times as well. So, like, most of it will be after hours. when people have time to work on their businesses and be here and be able to show up as well. So yeah, we keep that in mind, but we do expect a certain level of commitment. Because there is a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into it.
And that's what I want to say, because I think, you know, a lot of the programming that we offer at BDC is free.
Yeah.
Free to the person participating.
Facts.
But it's not free.
It's not free.
There is a cost associated with it. The public is paying for it. You know, people know we operate off a government grant. And so the goal is to create a platform or an environment to help encourage the formation of either new business or the development of existing business. Yeah. So it really, we want to see if 10 people are accepted. We would love to see 10 people graduate.
Yes, absolutely.
But, you know, we understand life happens. You know, like you said, most of our entrepreneurs have a full-time job. So we had to tailor our programming for that reason. I can say those businesses that have been in the program where the business that they're operating on is their full-time job see tremendous leaps.
Yeah.
Because that's all they're working on.
Right.
But we know that that's not the reality for a lot of businesses. But having said that, I think you were right in saying that you have to be prepared to work on your business and not in it, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of times for individual people or solo entrepreneurs, that's difficult, right? Because it's just you. You're trying to do the business. Everything. You're trying to work your 9 to 5. God forbid, well, not God forbid, but if you have a family and children and other responsibilities, that just adds to the difficulty. So we get it.
Yeah.
But having said that, I really do think that you get out of the programming what you put in.
Absolutely.
And so having those hard conversations with yourself at the start to say, can I really do this? I do think is important.
Yeah.
But also from a BDC or programming perspective, I think it's important to communicate the value that is being given.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at the program and considering it, take that into consideration, because we're going to give it our all for you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not our business.
Yeah, exactly.
And so,
yeah. And come orientation day, if you do get accepted, we're letting you know and we're hitting the ground running. So be prepared to fully commit, especially like you said, like the application process is competitive. There are a lot of people vying for these 10 spots, which we're really excited about.
Yeah.
But if I wish like we had an entrepreneur here that has been through the program to say like everything that they've gotten out of it, just the feedback and the experience alone.
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah,
we should do
another
that.
one.
Okay.
We'll do that. But I think if you get the opportunity to speak with anybody that has been through the program, they'll let you know. Like there's so much behind the scenes stuff that happens that doesn't get seen, and that they get to experience that has been truly beneficial for their business. And then as well, being a past participant also opens you up to so many other opportunities in the future as well. We've had opportunities come up that we contact the past cohorts about, and they've been able to take ownership of those different things and participate in those different things and win competitions, get money, get grant funding, all of that sort of stuff. And that's because they originally were a part of the incubator program.
That's correct. So once you graduate out, the relationship continues, right?
Yeah.
So whenever BDC sponsors events or we get tickets to events, those are the people that we reach out to first to say, are you interested in attending? And so that continued sponsorship, I should say that sponsorship of your business and you as the entrepreneur continues, right? And so we're always thinking about what we can do, how we can continue to support, because like I said, the whole premise behind creating the incubator program was to provide that support.
Yeah.
Right? Because we did the multi-week classes, and I remember people are like, yeah, those 8 weeks is good, but what else? I need more help. And so that was kind of what made us say, okay, well, let's just do it. Let's just put something together and do it. And so over the years, it's changed, like you said, due to feedback from the participants, but hopefully for the better every time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking forward to this cohort.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited about it, and I think it'll be really interesting to see the new businesses that come through. I'm always excited by like the different ideas that people have, the grand ideas, the small ideas as well that turn into grand ideas.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think it's also important to note that we see businesses that start with one thing and completely turn to something else as well. So there's that too.
Yeah.
If you join the program and find like, hey, I can actually validate this idea, let me shift to something else, that's totally fine.
It is. And that's what we hope happens, right? Because I think sometimes, I think entrepreneurs are problem solvers, but they're the risk takers. And so sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this because I think it's great.
Right.
And then the public or the people that will be paying you money for whatever it is that you're
like,
doing
well,
are like,
actually.
yeah, not so much.
You're like, maybe you should shift a little bit.
And that's okay. It's better to realize that early before you invest too much money or before you spend too much money than to go down the road of saying you will take this, force feeding, you know, whatever it is. So the program gives you the ability to do that without having to spend too much of your own money.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a little shift. Like maybe you thought that you needed a brick and mortar location and the tiny shift is like, hey, actually, this could be a subscription model.
Right.
So like it's something like that you don't realize until you're in a room of people where you can test, where you can get feedback, where you can have those types of discussions, and it suddenly clicks and you're off to the races.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited about the program. Again, let's remind people where they can register.
Yes. So you can register, apply for the program, fill out the application. It is located on bedc.bm, our website. Application deadline is June 23rd. So you have a week or so left. Yeah, you have a little bit of time left, so make sure you apply, get it in before the deadline. If you have any questions, give us a call or shoot us an email. But yeah, it should be a good cohort. I'm super excited to see who's going to be a part of it this year.
And so what's the start date?
The start date is, I don't want to get this wrong, I believe it's July. So it's either July 3rd or July 10th. It is on the website.
Okay. So say one with the date, and then he has to edit it out.
Okay. So. So the start date is July 3rd. Check the website. We do have a short list of the schedule there.
Okay. And then do one with the 10th.
Oh. The start date is July 10th.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for minding your business, or our business, with me today. And remember, if you don't mind your business,
who will?
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.